Your thumbnail is your storefront, but if you own a high-end and premium business, but the front of your store looks cheap, confusing, and cluttered, then nobody's gonna walk inside. My agency has been designing and testing thumbnails for 6- and 7-figure brands for over a year now. And in this video, I'm going to break down the exact formula that we use, the rules, the psychology, the visual hierarchy, and a testing strategy that has helped our clients pull 9+% click-through rates on multiple videos. So the first thing to know is that most business owners treat their thumbnails as an afterthought. They spend 5 hours writing the script, they spend 3 hours recording, and then they spend 10 minutes just throwing some text over a screenshot. And then they wonder why their highly educational, valuable video gets a 1% click-through rate. You have to understand that the thumbnail gets the attention, but it's the title that actually gets the click. They work together, so if you cannot earn a click, then the video is non-existent. But honestly, a lot of people will just click on a video because the thumbnail looks fire. Even if they stay for less time than usual, you earn the click, they now know who you are, and that's a potential lead that you can nurture down the line with your content. So let's get into the first point. So we're gonna go over the core rules of high converting thumbnails. First rule is the face rule. You always want to have the creator's face in the thumbnail. You always want people to connect with people, not just graphics. For example, this one, instead of just using like a picture of Alex Hormozi, which is like a graphic, you put Alex Hormozi actually in the thumbnail. People connect with people and they can actually see his arm and his face and everything, right? Even this one. Same thing for me. I put people actually in the thumbnail, and it's because your ICP or your target audience immediately needs to see the expert or the person that you're talking about. It builds trust and a parasocial connection before they even click the video. This is key, and look at this first one, for example, as well. This is a SaaS company, Instantly AI. Instead of just using like the logo, it's a founder-led brand, right? The founder's actually creating videos for the brand. And you used to not see this much at all. It used to just be the company logo and maybe some random UGC creator or just like a screen share of the app and like, here's how you do this, here's how you do that. So boring to watch. Now the founder is actually recording the videos and it's much more of a connection rather than like who is even the owner of this company. No one knows him. All the best brands out there, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, all these brands can have people connecting with the founder. That's why they're so successful right now, right? So you always want to have the face or the creator's face or someone who you're talking about in the thumbnail. You never want to have no faces in the thumbnail because people can't connect with other people. So these are some really good examples of what I mean. Now the next one is the 4-word rule. 4 words or fewer on the thumbnail, always at all times. If they have to read a paragraph, they're going to keep scrolling. For example, I'm going to show you a few examples from these people. One of the people being me. You can see, for example, on my channel, I have nothing more than 4 words on the actual thumbnail. An exception can be like there's small text somewhere to actually help enhance the thumbnail. For example, this one here. The main word is scale, right? Everything else is kind of small and it's not the main focus. So this is okay. The main word is just 1 word, right? But if your main word, let's say instead of what they do differently here, imagine I put something like 6 lessons, what they do differently, YouTube channels, 7-figure brand. That's way too much text and it's just way too much. Just make it minimal, make it expand on the title and complement it. Never copy it. Here's another example from Iman Gaji. You can see in some thumbnails he even has no text, which is actually probably the best option you can do. You want to always try to go for no text if you can, but if you have to, always go for 4 or less words. For example, this one, it's effing simple. This one, get out, right? Let's see this one here. I rejected $19 million. This one, how to get rich. This one, I give up. This one, you're easy to replace. 4 words max. You don't see any more than 4 words. Let's see another example from Cody Sanchez. 4 words max. Weird but rich, 3. Made me rich, 3. New customers, 2. Don't buy stocks, 2. Do this every day, 3. You're not scared enough, 4. There's never more than 4 words, ever. That's a huge rule that you want to follow, just so you don't overdo the thumbnail and make the viewer confused before they even click the video. It's extremely important to follow this rule. Now, the next one is you want to compliment and don't repeat. For example, if your video is titled How to Scale a B2B Agency, your thumbnail text should not be How to Scale a B2B Agency. It should instead be something like Do This First or The 100K Secret. You see how it creates curiosity, it complements the title. Instead of How to Scale B2B Agency, it's more like Do This First to scale your B2B agency, right? So now the thumbnail is actually expanding on the title. Now the person's like, okay, what do I need to do first? Or if you have the 100K secret, you're like, okay, what's the secret? And the title is How to Scale a B2B Agency. There's a secret that'll make me 100K. I need to click this video, right? So they work together to open a curiosity loop. For example, with this video from Cody Sanchez, how to manage time like a top 1% CEO, the actual text in the thumbnail. Do this every day. So now the viewer's like, okay, what do I need to do every single day to manage my time like a top 1% CEO? They're curious. Alex Hormozi, how to catch up in life using logic. Everyone else is going like this, they're going up, and then you're going down in life. But if you follow this logic formula, or if you watch this video, you're gonna be like, below everyone else, and then you're gonna go up tremendously, way above everyone else while everyone else is going down. This is the desired outcome. People wanna catch up in life and be the best in life. So people are gonna click this video because it seems to be in their best interest. And it opens a curiosity loop because, who doesn't wanna be a peer, right? Let's be honest. And here's the last example from Iman Gaji. You can see the title is Stop Wasting Your Life, 7 Steps to Unlock 97.9% of Your Potential. And in the thumbnail it says it's effing simple. He likely did this because a lot of people in general try to overcomplicate their life or do too many things to unlock their potential, right? So he's just saying it's so simple to do it. Just click this video. It's so simple. A lot of people want to unlock their potential and stop wasting their life. So they're going to click this video because it's simple. So this doesn't need to be like a 20-minute video, but it's just really simple. So far we have the face rule, the 4-word rule, and the compliment don't repeat rule. Now, here's the next rule. Leverage recognizable icons. If you're using a tool, or let's say you're promoting something, or let's say you're talking about someone in general, you want to leverage those icons, those logos, or those people in the actual thumbnail. There's an example that I'm going to show above here. Let's see here from Simon Squibb. He was talking about Alex Hormozi in the video. I'm not sure if Alex Hormozi was actually in it. I haven't clicked this video, but you can see, even if he's talking about Alex Hormozi, instead of just being him in the middle with maybe like Alex Hormozi text at the top, or maybe acquisition.com logo on the side so people know it's him, he made this designer actually put Alex in the thumbnail. So now it seems like they're together and they're collaborating together. It makes it automatically a lot more interesting. And even I want to click this video to see what it's about, because a lot of people don't know you. But if you're talking about a tool or maybe a bigger creator than you, people know those people. So it's kind of like hijacking authority in a way in the thumbnail, in your packaging, which is insane. You don't have to just do it in your video and your editing. You can do it in your thumbnail as well using this strategy. So the viewer is going to instantly know what ecosystem you're talking about or who you're talking about without reading a single word, because they're going to see it in the thumbnail. This is very visual, and keep in mind the thumbnail gets the attention, but it's the title that actually gets the click. For example, you can see some thumbnails on my old AI channel. You can see I leverage icons heavily, and this always worked. I got hundreds and hundreds of views and a ton of affiliate signups like this. I use ChatGPT and Claude. I use ChatGPT and vidIQ. vidIQ is a super good YouTube tool. ChatGPT is an AI tool. Put them together and you're gonna become #1 on the search terms. I made this thumbnail on purpose and it did well. This one, ChatGPT, write me as YouTube script. This one's very visual, and it kind of like tells the viewer what they're gonna get out of this video and how it's super simple. They're gonna click this video. And in this one, stop wasting time. But I have logos in the back, which is recognizable. People recognize it, and they're gonna click this video because it automatically builds context and trust without even reading the title. Now this next point is very important because it's about visual hierarchy. People read thumbnails and read things in general from left to right. And because of this, I always put the focal point, which is the most important element of a thumbnail. I'm going to talk about that in a bit. Usually the face or the core subject on the left, or sometimes in the center. I rarely put the focal point on the right side unless the creator is already massively well known for that specific topic or in that specific niche. You want to guide their eyes naturally and quickly before they keep scrolling, right? So for example, this one, Alex Hormozi is on the left side. That's not the focal point. The focal point is here on the right side. But Alex Hormozi can get away with this thumbnail because he's really well known in the niche. People already know who he is. They're going to click this thumbnail even if it's from left to right, and he's on the left, right? Focal point's on the right side. They have to do more work. Look at my thumbnail here. I have my focal point on the left side. The numbers, kind of a hidden graph, kind of invoking a little bit of curiosity. And the thumbnail text is what they do different. The title of this video was something about lessons I've learned from scaling 6- and 7-figure brands with YouTube. And so I'm kind of invoking curiosity by showing the numbers and saying what they do different. Like I'm giving away all the sauce pretty much. But you can see the focal point is on this left side immediately. And then you look to the right. A lot of people probably wouldn't know me, but it doesn't matter because I'm on the right side anyway. That's the last thing they're gonna see. First thing I want them to see, of course, is this focal point right here. Or you can be like this guy here, and you can be in the center while the text is behind you and the focal point is kind of like behind you and also on the side a little bit. This is not bad either. But the main point of this section is the focal point should usually be on the left side because people scan from left to right. The faster they get the value and they understand the actual video, because the thumbnail is what catches the attention, the faster they're going to click on your video before clicking on someone else's, which is likely going to be a competitor of yours. Now this next point is going to be the mirror effect, right? You want to be visualizing for the ideal client profile. So make sure the viewer can actually visualize themselves in the thumbnail or what's happening in the video, because you cannot have a flat, boring thumbnail that doesn't resonate with them at all. So for example, in this video, you can see the title of this video is My $4 Million Instagram Profile Ads Blueprint, Step by Step with a Customer. And you could pretty much have the viewer visualize what's happening in the video. It's him next to the customer, and they're breaking down profile funnel. They did it perfectly. Like the text is right here, the profile funnel, meta recognizable icon here, by the way, and then the two people. So they can visualize this perfectly. This is like literally a perfect thumbnail. So for example, if your ICP is a stressed out agency owner, show a visual representation of a chaotic calendar or like a declining revenue chart, because that relates to them and they can kind of visualize themselves in that situation. Maybe the video is about that as well. They can visualize what the video is about too. They need to look at the thumbnail and say, this is exactly what my life looks like right now. Or maybe they need to say something like, this is what the video looks like. For example, in this video we did for my client Jeff, who's in the e-com web design niche. We made a full course video titled Complete DTC Landing Page Masterclass 2026, Build High Converting Shopify Pages. Instead of having like, some Shopify page and having the text full course, maybe a space somewhere in the corner or something like that, we have him in the center. We have the actual Shopify page example. A lot of people will just have some revenue numbers here, some like green charts. Instead, we wanted to be a little bit more visual and we wanted to show an actual landing page example. We put that here. We put these revenue markers. People in this niche know this means money. And we have here in the text, full landing page zero workflow, which is pretty much confirming the title without copying it, but instead complementing it. And we have him in the center. This is a pretty good thumbnail. This video has like a few thousand views. And then this video, so the title of this video is 6 Lessons I Learned Managing YouTube Channels for 7-Figure Brands. And when you imagine someone managing YouTube channels for like bigger brands, you imagine them like working on a laptop. Either that, or you imagine them working side by side with 7-figure brand owners. So I have the viewer visualizing me doing that. So now they're kind of interested. They're like, okay, he's giving away the sauce of what they do different. He's working with like millions of dollars and he's on his laptop. He's obviously working. This is how he learned all of his lessons and this is how he works with the brands. I'm kind of interested. Let me click this video a bit. Like for example, if you're gonna do a video breaking down, let's say Alex Hormozi's Instagram page, you can have yourself here, you can have Alex Hormozi on this side, and you can have over here in the background his Instagram page, then this can say the Instagram funnel, and then like an Instagram logo, something like that, right? Obviously don't copy the title, but just complement it and then have a recognizable logo, which is gonna be Instagram. Do something like that and that'll cook, and I want to be added in the description if someone does that, because that video is gonna do extremely well. Now the next and final point is gonna be called the chaos testing strategy, and we use this a lot. If you use a thumbnail as a reference for your video, you'd never wanna copy it one for one, especially if it's someone in the same niche. You always wanna tailor it for your personal brand, but here's the secret that we use at my agency. So we have one thumbnail that's on brand, on point, and then we have one crazy thumbnail from a crazy variation, and we just A/B test them. You'd be surprised that sometimes this chaos tested one performs much better than this one that's usual for the actual channel. And we only do this to see what the market actually wants and potentially get a big outlier video. Like nobody tests enough. Even like Iman Gaji said this, and he has like 2 to 3 full in-house team designers, right? And they're always rehashing, redoing thumbnails for him for all of his previous videos. They're finding new formats, they're testing new concepts because that is super important. And we've seen older videos like literally blow up after days or months just from changing the thumbnail or even the title, right? Both of them changed could work as well. So that is the thumbnail formula. So now you have the full thumbnail formula. Base in the thumbnail, 4 words or fewer, complement the title, don't repeat it, put your focal point on the left, use recognizable icons, make your ICP actually see themselves in the thumbnail, and test 2 completely different variations at the same time every single time. This is not complicated, but almost nobody does all of this consistently. The ones who are the ones pulling in 8 and 9% click-through rates, while everyone else is wondering why their video isn't growing. Now, if you're a business owner doing over 30K a month and you want to add an additional 10 to 50K a month in new revenue from YouTube Organic, click the first link below to book a free call with my agency. All you do is record for 30 minutes a week while we handle everything else, including the strategy, ideation, scripting, editing, thumbnails, SEO, and posting. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.